The next one we want to share with you guys is like something that Lori and there's a lot of verses, topics, or something, I don't have the right word for it, but we didn't realize we're in the Bible. And one big one, besides that God is using us despite our past, it was a work of the enemy to keep us from God, to keep hovering our past over us. Mm-hmm. But the other one was that God does care about us. God values us. He finds us worthy to have a relationship with. And there's actually a prayer that we say in the morning that we got from somebody, and it really hit with Lord and I whenever we read it, is that thank you for helping me remind myself that my Lord desires my presence as well, or something like that. I can't remember right now, but the idea of like, just as much as we should want to be in his presence, he also wants us. And I don't know, that really touched Lori and I. There were a few verses in Matthew that talked about, we already talked about the one a little bit about do not worry, but within that one, it talks about how, God, he truly cares about us more than sparrows. So that was one that really hit Lori and I. And then the other one in chapter 10 that kind of gave this insight to Lori and I when we were reading it, is that it starts with chapter 10 in Matthew, verses 26 through 31. So I recommend you going back and reading that on your own time. But the part I want to pull out is that it says, aren't 2 sparrows sold for a penny, yet not one of them falls to the ground without your Father's consent. But even the hairs of your head have all been counted. So don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. So that was very similar to what Jesus said in chapter 6 when he was worrying about your food and your clothing and things. So it was another story. So when I found when things are repeated, obviously it's very important to Jesus and he wants us to understand this. And so this is the one that I wrote in my Bible, that I am worthy to God. So I pass it along to you like that. Really, it helped when I approach our prayer life differently when we made this connection. Because that's what God's a God of relationships, and he wants, and that's another reason why Jesus came down, right, was to restore our relationship with the Lord. Also, a lot of people back in that time had a distorted view of God, and he came to set the record straight. Some things he did was for that reason. Yeah. And so hearing this for Lori and I helped us also see our Creator does have interest in us. I think sometimes a lot of us feel like, oh, God's not going to care about this, and also we learn in this, to tie it into this point as well, is how important prayer life is. So when you understand that God truly does care about you, and you truly want to delight in him and have a relationship with him, so you're making that connection, your prayer life changes. At least it has for Lori and I, and how we come to God, how we talk to him, how we engage with him. Like, it's totally changed when we've made this connection. So I hope that helps you to make a deeper connection with our Lord, and that he truly does care about you. But remember what I said in the previous point, that just because rough things are happening, because we're all going to experience burdens, just because we follow Jesus doesn't mean we're not going to have struggles. It's still part of it. And sometimes some of the struggles, God leads us into them, right? So it's just a bigger picture reminder that he does have our greatest interest in heart, because he truly does care about us. And I think that helps lift a lot of stress and worry and anxiety off Lori and I hope it does for you as well.
Remember, girls, God uses common people, the unexpected people, and
I read here, ordinary people.
Yeah, don't let the enemy, Satan, make you think otherwise. Keep taking those thoughts captive when they come into you. Be like, no, I know that God can use me, and that's what he loves to do. He loves to help the broken. So don't forget that. Don't let that bring you down in your walk with your faith.
Jesus didn't come here to solve all our problems. He came for the deeper issue. And another thing, a little thing we want to share, that I remember that Jesus mentioned twice already within chapters 1 through 15, that desire mercy, not sacrifice. And sacrifices were really big back then. Something that Lord and I want to pass along to you guys around that is that Jesus desired relationship over religion. And a lot of people, especially the Pharisees, were so stuck in their rituals and their ways that they weren't seeing the true Jesus. Just remember that you are going to still have difficulties along your journey with your walk with the Lord, but that doesn't mean he does not love you. He still values you. You're still worthy to him. If you don't know, we came out of false teachings and practices were made to be like, no, it's all about what you want. Yeah. God will give you everything you want. Just visualize it, write it down, affirm it.
Yeah, because what you want is what he wants, which could be for some things, but it's all about what we learn
back to the relation. What I was saying, God desires a relationship over your ritual. So if you're still stuck in this, I don't want to get too much in our manifesting law of attraction. Lord and I talked a little bit about it in those videos where we were stuck on, did we write this many affirmations? Did we, visualize this long? Like, we're so stuck in those ways, and that's not of God. Jesus was also clearly not for that stuff. So it's something else I wanted to pass on if you're still if you haven't watched our other Manifesting a Law of Attraction videos, please go check those out as well, because Jesus says he wants your hearts, and we just wanted to pass along to you because this really helped. Like Lloyd said, it just deepened our faith and our walk with the Lord. Help that relationship, though. It's really important for you to be on that own journey for yourself, not just listening to videos like ours and taking for it. Like, no, to read it and discover it yourself.
But like,
create a God
community
about
is
it.
important. So
Yes.
you being here
And talking about it with others.
about it,
Yeah,
I
of
think
course.
that also helps you grow with your faith, and that's also why Michelle and I wanted to share this video and all the other videos. Is it not only helps Michelle and I connect and talk with other Christians or even non-believers and just talk about things. That also helps you like grow in your faith and let the Lord work in you in different ways. And I just love that too.
All right, sisters, thank you so much for joining Lori and I for another session of Bible study with us, kind of taking some other points that help deepen our faith, reviewing Matthew chapters 1 through 15. Please share your takeaways down below.